We've been surviving. We've been doing all right, and it's great that you come to join us for an hour with the tower.
Yeah.
We're going to try and run through a little bit of what's happened to Steve Warburton, probably over the last 10 or 12 years, because that's how long it's been. If got a little bit further. When did you first start playing, and how did you learn? And when did you decide that this, do you know what, playing poker for a living, this could be a very good career?
Making me feel old, that. Every time I play poker now, everyone still sort of sees me as like the kind of young kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a few years, isn't it? I first started playing when I was like 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
And I was a sort of typical kid. I had no idea what I kind of wanted to do for a living, except for the fact that I didn't want to work for anyone. So, you know, when you were growing up, you're always asked, what do you want to do? What do you want? Never had an answer. Except for, I don't know why, I just always said I never really wanted to work for someone. So when I started university, I kind of had this plan, which was to not really go to university and just basically use the student loan and basically start playing poker from there.
Yeah.
Which didn't really go down too well. I remember my dad specifically wasn't very happy that I was quitting university, and I've got quite a few aunties that are all teachers. And so I kind of had this plan of just get this, kind of $3,000 student loan.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the rest of my life will just be sorted, which has kind of happened. So yeah, I basically went to university. I went to the first lecture that was on a Thursday morning at 9 a.m. And I remember turning up thinking, I'm just not going to come back. But I kind of had to tell it a few porkies the rest of the year, pretending I was going, I was committed.
Yeah.
All I was doing was just playing 1-2 cash games in the Manchester G in the age of about 18 years old.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how I got started. I kind of played some £5 sitting goes with friends when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was just, and it was relentless back then. It was like 5 or 6 games every night, waiting lists.
Yeah.
Constant action, just everyone was coming through the door. What's this game? Do you know what I mean? No one could really play. Every pot was maybe 4 or 5 way. None of this kind of check calling, taking ages. It was so exciting when you first started playing it, especially for me anyway. And I just loved it. I was playing till 6 a.m. every night. Moved to Manchester. It was so exciting. It was this game that you didn't need to be that good at. You just kind of need to be better than your average Joe sort of thing.
Mm.
And it was fantastic. So
the early days were all cash.
All cash. What are you drinking, by the way, Tower?
Water. Believe it or not.
I thought I could rely on you, mate. Come on. Right.
Come on, son. You first.
You drink, just so you know, I've got some Pims.
Yes, very nice. Very posh.
Saturday afternoon, and I've also got a nice Peroni as well. Just so you know. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Multi-drinking as well. So you've played cash, but then you go on to your first ever Hendon mob. Can you remember what it was?
Oh, first ever Hendon mob. Well, basically,
I'll tell you it was a win.
Oh, I know what it was. So I was playing cash games every night. I thought tournaments were stupid. I thought tournaments were the most ridiculous thing ever, and it was too fast. And I wanted to kind of play deep and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing much has kind of changed over the years, but I played. I think it was Walsall, right? £100 side event.
That's exactly what it was.
I played £100 side event, and it finished at about 5:45.
Yeah.
And they told us that if it got to 6 o'clock, then they were just going to say whoever had the most chips won.
That's when they closed at 6 a.m. That's correct.
Yeah, and I basically folded something like 15 hands heads up. So I'd fold. It was on him. He'd raise. I'd fold. And then they told us this, and I moved all in with Jack 5 offsuit. I got called by Jacks. Won the hand, and then won the next 2 hands, and basically won it. Obviously, looking back now, I had no idea what I was doing heads up. I was folding all these hands heads up and whatever, but Yeah, that was my first one, I think.
Yeah. And then your first 7 cashes ended up being on GUKPT side events and APAT side events. So I'm not being funny, but I'm not being funny. You played cash, but every time you seem to play GUKPT or an APAT, you seem to cash in the sides.
Yeah, I think that was more to do with the cash games weren't as kind of good as they were. I was fairly lazy about, I'm like I was studying back then, and I mean, now people study just an insane amount of things, and so you kind of maybe go with the flow of, okay, what's next on is GUKPT Bolton or Warsaw or London, and so you're almost kind of forced into it. I didn't have lots of money back then, but when you've got maybe 10 grand to your name and there's a £500 tournament on, you kind of go with the flow, and it's all about people as well, Towers. When you play live, you just meet people every day. You're playing cash games maybe 8 to 12 hours a day. You meet people all the time, and people talk, and where are you going next week? Oh, there's this thing on, and so it was very strange how I kind of got into tournaments. It was more kind of that was what everyone was doing, and you know what I mean. So that's kind of where it kind of started.
It's a good job you went into side events, because in May 2011, that's nearly 10 years ago. May 2011, your first 5 figures cash for 11,000 at the Salford Megastack.
Raf White was running that. And he said, I remember him saying something like, and this is one of my first tournaments, if you don't play, you're in trouble. And I was saying, oh, Raf, I don't really play tournaments. And, and he was saying, you basically got to come down and stuff. And I remember we had 2 tables left, and Alex Martin was like the kind of big player back then. And I think I knocked him out, and then from there I won the tournament. And then probably after that I was thinking, oh, tournaments are actually all right, aren't they? Completely being results orientated to the whole thing. Pretty much after that one was when I kind of started playing them more regularly.
Did that first 5 figure cash go straight into the bankroll, or was it just like party time?
I'm pretty sure that doubled the bankroll.
Yeah, well, that's you got to start. You have to start somewhere.
Honestly, Tal, for probably the first 4 or 5 years I played poker, I had between £1,000 and £9,000 or £10,000, and never ever got beyond that. I was just playing low stakes. You kind of win a few quid here and lose a few quid there. So to win 11,000 back then was like, wow. I mean, let's basically play these tournaments because you can win huge money. So I think I had about 4 or 5 grand to my name, and obviously won that one in Salford.
Yeah, and
I'm coming out with 11 grand in Salford, by the way. But
well, it wasn't a bad year 2011, because the GUKPT 500s, you got 8.8 and 7.7. So now you must have been thinking these tournaments now, all right, cash is good, cash is nice to sit with the mates, but tournaments, I'm pretty good at these.
No, I really used to struggle with confidence, like a lot. I'm not saying I'm super confident now, but I was always very aware of what was happening, and I saw these guys win, and rather than looking at results, I was more looking at the hands they played, and I was thinking, well, if that guy had lost that hand with 15 left, he would have won that tournament. It would be something like ace queen against ace king, and he basically hit a queen or something. So I feel like I've always been quite level-headed when I kind of win or lose, and so I never really got carried away with what was happening. And I would say that I definitely put more effort in, and I maybe respected them more as a thing. So like the next few years, I was obviously more kind of focused and taking it more seriously, definitely.
Well, it's been an interesting start. We'll be back with Mr. Steve Warburton very soon in the next episode of An Hour with the Tower.
Looking forward to it.